Welcome to Capitalizing on Content, episode 7. Today we're going to talk about 4K video production. So first of all, some of you might be wondering, what is 4K video? So 4K is twice the definition of 1080, which is the standard full definition picture of most TVs and monitors. So there's been a lot of debate recently in the video industry whether 4K recording capability is worth it or not, and also how big a difference it actually makes in the picture. For us here at Syndication, a lot of the reason we film several things in 4K is because of the ability to add effects in post. So for example, you can zoom in or zoom out, pan, tilt, and make cuts without having to actually have someone on the camera or manning the camera or doing those things in real life. Because you can zoom into half the size of the picture, this means you have a lot of room to move from side to side or to move from a wide shot to a narrow shot without actually having to do it on the lens. This is really nice for interviews because you can make jump cuts without actually having to have two cameras filming the interview. So for example, if I was to say a couple too many times in an interview, it would look like this if I used jump cuts to cut it out. So for example, if I was to say a couple too many times in an interview, and the audience wouldn't even be able to tell that I said at those points. So this is really nice for shooting interviews. It also, some panning out and zooming out effects and stuff like that are really nice to have and add a little bit extra character to your interviews. Another reason that it's nice to have is when you're shooting with a drone, if you don't want to get too close to the ground or too close to an object, you can shoot in 4K and then zoom in and it'll make it look like it's actually closer to that object, or the object is larger in the picture. 4K capabilities are becoming more and more common. You're starting to see them in cell phones now, which is pretty amazing. They're quite common in drones, action cams, and very, very common in DSLRs now, especially anything newer coming out on the market. For example, the Sony a7S II, a7R II, GH4, GH5, the Canon 5D Mark IV, those all have 4K capabilities. Another pro of shooting in 4K is the ability to stabilize a picture after. So you can crop down the picture to get rid of some of the wobble and movement in it without losing too much quality. Some of the negative downsides of shooting in 4K are you need larger card sizes, you need faster cards. The 4K footage is quite difficult to edit if you don't have a very fast computer without using a proxy or something like that. And it also will take up a lot more room on hard drives, so you'll need to upgrade your storage as well. And if you need to send it online or transfer it, this can also take a lot longer just due to the size of the files of the 4K footage. Now there's a lot of debates whether downscaled 4K is better than 1080 or not. So here are two pictures. One was shot in 1080, one was shot at 4K, and you can see if you can tell the difference between them. A lot of people are saying you should downscale 4K to 1080 because you'll have a sharper picture. If you upscale 1080 to 4K and export that and upload it to YouTube and people watch it in a 4K setting on YouTube, the picture will be clearer than if it was being watched at 1080, even though the footage was originally shot in 1080. That being said, YouTube very rarely defaults to playing 4K, and I don't think very many people select 4K on YouTube. And if you're watching it on Facebook, Facebook's gonna kill your video quality anyways, all the way down to 720. So it doesn't make any difference at all. So I hope that shines some light on things. For interviews and still shots, I often enjoy shooting in 4K just for the ability to do things in post, but the file sizes can be daunting. And generally speaking, I'd rather have the ability to shoot slow motion, so 60 frames plus, than have 4K video capabilities. That being said, the new Panasonic GH5 that came out yesterday can shoot 4K at 60 frames per second, which is pretty amazing. The next couple episodes are gonna be about getting clients as a freelancer or creative, and some of the things that have helped me and some of the things I've learned from my friends who are in the industries. And I really hope you'll enjoy those, and I hope they'll be useful to you. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel for future videos.